Hi, I'm Eric, and welcome back to the Indie Lit Forum. Still not entirely sure about that title. Just, I don't know. I keep thinking maybe the Independent Literature Forum or Review, but that sounds kind of stuffy. So we're running with what we got for now. Today, we're going to be talking about a book that just came out yesterday, as of the recording of this video, Monday, September 27th. And that's going to be Marvin Knight's. Yeah, Marvin Knight's Paladin of the Sword. There you go. It's got a pretty nice cover on that one. I've been reading this author for a little while. Mostly, as far as I know, he just has the Spellheart series, which I really like. It's got a lot of nice action in it. It's really funny, and it's pretty good series. Like he's built a kind of fairly interesting world there. But this book is a completely new series that he started up. He's talking a trilogy, maybe a little bit more, but that seems to be what he's kind of looking at on this one. And one thing I have to say about this book, as opposed to his other books, is this one seems a little bit more serious than his Spellheart books. His Spellheart books, they can be rather irreverent at times, whereas this one not so much. There's still moments of humor in there, provided by the state of the main character. I guess we should get into kind of a general synopsis of it. The story follows or starts off following a young boy named Darren. At the start of this book, he's 5 years old, and him and his mother, who is a extremely strong person, they are on the run, and she's been poisoned, and things aren't good. And the only place they have to run is into hell itself. They run. There's in this world there is a plane of hell that exists like in parallel to the world, and there's gateways that open up, and paladins adventures they can go into the layers of hell in order to gain experience and level up and become stronger. But a normal run into the layers of hell for them usually is something in the neighborhood of weeks. Well, Darren, as part of his running, winds up being down there for 15 years. He finally emerges when he turns 20, which means that he is in no way adapted to human society of that time. And him getting out of the layers of hell, that's within the first 30, 20, 30 pages of the book. There's other stuff that goes on in there, but I'm trying not to spoil anything too major. Just kind of give you a general idea of what's going on. But once he actually manages to leave the layers of hell, probably for good, who knows where the series is going to go. He meets some people on the outside. He meets a young merchant noblewoman named Cassandra, her illegitimate nephew named Callum, who is kind of her rather inept caravan guard. And then a little further along, they meet another woman named Morgana. Callum and Morgana are two very fun characters. They're Morgana, you actually spend a little bit of the book in her headspace, which I think really helps flesh her out a little bit as a character. I feel like you get a better sense of her motivations and why she's doing some things. And there are some things she winds up doing that really drive the story. And Callum spends a lot of time with the main character, throughout the book, and I feel like you get a good sense of him as well. And he actually provides a fairly good amount of comic relief to. He's not quite a comic relief character, I think, but he does provide a little bit of that. So, both of those characters are very fun. Cassandra, I like, but if I do have one niggle I do have about this story is I feel like her character isn't quite done quite as much justice as she could have been. You do spend some time in her headspace, this is true, but it feels like the moments that you spend inside of her headspace are too like critical for you to really you don't really get to spend just some time with her. It's like when you're in her headspace, usually something pretty major is going on, and so I feel like her character suffers a little bit, but at the same time I still really like her as a character, so take that as you may. And then, what more can I say? It's a story with a lot of action. There's a lot of action in here, and it Darren winds up being he's very much in the OP in main character kind of trope. But I feel like more than a lot of your OP main characters, he earns it. Like that 15 years he spent living in the plains of hell, or layers of hell, sorry. That those 15 years, they made him strong, and it doesn't feel unearned. It feels like he came by it pretty much honestly. So I like that about this character. I feel like you know, it's not quite subverting that OP main character trope, but it's playing with it in a way that makes it feel less unreal. It breaks you from the story a little bit less, I believe. And there's actually some interesting moments with the character where it's kind of like early on in the book, he kind of achieves his main goal, like what he's been trying to do the entire time. He was trying to leave, hell. He achieves that goal, and so there's a good chunk of the book that is him trying to find what it is he wants to do. What will be his new driving force, and I don't know 100% that that arc is like completely realized, but it does pretty okay. Like, I mean, it's a good book. It's very enjoyable, and it does have many explicit scenes. Not as I want to say not as much as a lot of the Spellheart books do. Like it's definitely not on that level. I want to say. I read the most recent one, fairly recently, and it seems like there is a little bit less explicit sex in this one. So, but at the same time, if you don't like explicit sex in your stories, then this probably is not for you. And I say that to spare him getting, too many one stars reviews where people are like, oh, there's sex in here, when I'm pretty sure that he explicitly states that in his book description. I'm pretty sure because I didn't actually read too far. I saw his post on Facebook, hey, got a new book out. I'm like, oh, yeah, I will try that. Thank you. So, yeah, you like if you like a story with a lot of action, not quite as much comedy as Spellheart, but enough to make the story not too much of a serious slog, and really some fairly interesting world building, then give it a shot. I liked it. I read it this morning in one sitting, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I was quite happy with it. I've only given it one read so far, so will it really kind of elevate into like some of my higher tiers? I can't really say that yet because usually it takes me two or three times reading the book before I decide if it's one that I really love. But so far, my impressions of it are entirely favorable, and you should give it a shot. And thank you very much. Thank you for watching. If you like what I'm doing so far, I admit there's not a lot of it, to date, but I'm working on it. And if you like it, then please like the video, subscribe, and you know, comment. If you don't like what I'm doing and you've actually managed to stay this long and watch to the end, then comment as well. Tell me what you think I could do to improve, or just tell me I suck. I guess any feedback's good. I guess. I mean, constructive feedback would be greatly appreciated. But with that, have a very good day.